This button? Well, what is this button?
A different button.
Okay, thanks.
If you talking, get to walking, or they pray around here. Yeah. Oh, you talk to 12, that's amazing.
That's amazing.
So, first of all, where are you from?
All right, so I was born in Gwinnett, in North Atlanta, around Sugarloaf. I was born in a trailer park right across from Discover Mills, when it was Discover Mills, now Sugarloaf Mills. And I really fell in love with rap there because as a white kid in that predominant area, I was a minority. So I was around like a lot of just Hispanics and African Americans, and so I had to, I befriended a lot of them, and there was no such thing as like racial slurs there because, shoot, I was the minority for real. So it was just like, but yeah, that's really where I'm from. My background, my genetics, my whole family's from Detroit, Michigan, so I do have that kind of Yankee background to me. That's where a lot of my voice and a lot of my inspiration does come from. So that being said, that's basically where I come from.
Okay, so how did you get to Athens?
It's a funny question. I moved to right in between Gwinnett and Oconee, right before I finished high school. So around middle school and throughout high school, I went to high school in the shittiest area called Winder. I didn't go to Winder Barrow, I went to Appalachia. So for all those people who actually know those two high schools, I didn't go to Winder Barrow. That shit sucked apparently. So I did go to the nicer high school in that country ass suburban area. But after I left there, it was really corrupt, and they arrested me like 3 times straight out of high school. Because it was just, like a guy like me in a town with a bunch of redneck fucking meth smokers and shit. Like, I, as a pot smoker, was singled out, and I got arrested a lot, and I said, fuck that shit. So I dipped the fuck out and moved in with my sister about 3 years ago for the first time in Athens on Pulaski Street. And that's where I started to begin my journey in Athens.
Okay. What's been the most inspiring aspect of the Athens music scene to you?
Honestly, the diversity and the versatility of the artists, whether it's, artists of all kinds, whether it's hip hop or other genres too. We just have a really large, different aspects on different things. Like, a lot of people are touching different, you'll listen to bands and they'll have trumpets and saxophones live performing with them in Athens, or you'll listen to like rappers like DK who are really lyrically like grasping the beats and grasping people's souls, and it's more inclined in music that's outside of our city, which I feel like that's actually kind of the reason why we call ourselves classic, because we just really original and authentic about it. And no matter if it's a band, a punk rock band, a hip hop group, or anything, we're always authentic and one of a kind is what I'm saying. So Classic City is definitely, that's what I like about the music, the art here, and the whole shebang. Is just everybody is one of a kind and unique. There's never somebody that's, oh, I can compare them to them. Mm-hmm. Never that.
Yeah.
Green.
So, how did you get started making music in the first place?
Me myself is because we are a group. This is one of the co-producers. I produce myself. There's another main producer and another artist rapper named Apollo One. So me myself is Nick Main. The solo story behind Nick Main is Nick Main. Like I said, I grew up in North Atlanta, so I didn't think rap was going to be my first outlet whatsoever, but I loved music, so I took that and I grew with that. I started singing when I was around 9 because my dad wanted me to remain in the same schools after my mother had passed, because we lived in Lawrenceville, so he kept commuting me like 45 minutes to go to my elementary school in Lawrenceville before I had converted to like the middle schools in his county or whatever. And I would always sing to 95.5 on the way to school every morning, and eventually I just started growing an actual voice. So then I took that, and when I went to middle school, I wanted to play alto sax. Out of nowhere, I just wanted to play saxophone. So my dad was like, fuck it, you don't want to do sports, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that, at least you want to do something, so let's get you a sax. So I started playing saxophone throughout middle school, and eventually fell in love with drums, but my band director was convinced that I was too good at saxophone to moved to drums. So I finally got to go to drums when I got into high school and fell in love with drumline. And one of the drumline members that really inspired me convinced me to freestyle one afternoon. And I had played around with guitars by now, pianos by now, all sorts of different instruments, because saxophone really opened my music theory, just everything. It expanded my mind, threw me out there, threw me in there, and I was just like, man, this is amazing. What can I put my hands on? So I was singing, playing guitar, playing congos and guitar with bands. I had a punk rock band. We had a screamo band at one time. I was doing solo stuff. And then eventually that afternoon when I freestyled, because everybody finally convinced me to freestyle, because I was like, man, I'm too white for this shit. They were like, man, you're not too white, man. It's never about that. I was like, fuck it, you know what? So I spit a couple lines, and I actually felt really good. And everybody was like, dude, that was actually pretty good, man. You should do this more often. This is fun. And I was like, yeah, this was fun. So I took that and eventually wrote a little rap that went viral, because I rapped to this girl on to ask her out. And the shit went viral like 4 or 5 months later on YouTube, or on Facebook really, and then viral on YouTube too. And Vine, I'm sure fucking tons of people have seen it. Some dude asking a girl out in his high school, rapping to a little blonde girl. That was the first rap I ever actually put on a piece of paper. Mesmerized it in like 2 days. Asked this girl out. Somebody ended up recording it. And it went viral like 5 months later. And after that, I had people from like Poland and Germany and like using Google Translate to hit me up on Facebook and tell me, dude, that shit was cool as fuck. You should definitely keep doing music. So from there on out, I just knew that I had, I was just like, well, this is kind of lame. I just blew up off of me writing a fucking roses are red, violets are blue, like ask out letter. But hey, you know what? It's better than being on Degrassi. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, at least I wasn't rolling around in a wheelchair. But hey, Drake's one of my biggest fucking inspirations ever. But I'm just saying, hey, that was my viral come up. So you can diss on me all you want, but at least I had that background. So after that, people were like, dude, do it. And these were kids that were 12 years old, from fucking to like 25-year-old women and mothers and husbands and all kinds of shit, just like, do rap. And I was like, okay. Yeah, and now we're here.
That's how it happens sometimes. That's a really interesting story, and that's really the age of the internet.
Yeah, it's really what, like, anybody can do anything, and like, you grow up and your parents tell you that, but if you really use your tools and your utilities that we have access to in this generation, I guarantee you, if you're just not lazy, you can do whatever you want. I promise.
You brought up some of the other members of the group you're in. You're a part of Lunar Gang.
Yes.
How did that all come together?
That was an amazing destiny discovery. All I can tell you is, basically, I lived right across from Redneck Beach. I had worked at Modern Age for about a year and ended up living with a coworker who had got homeless, and me and him had gotten really close. And then one of my friends from high school ended up moving to Athens, and we all got a place together right across from Redneck Beach. And he ended up working up. My buddy from high school worked at the Subway on South Lumpkin, and he met this guy named Dylan. We called him Decam. And they came over and we smoked one day. Decam came over one day, and me and my buddy were freestyling, because that's what we were doing. That's just how we did things. We were chilling in my room, and he saw my synthesizer and my studio equipment. And he was like, dude, I got some friends that literally do exactly what y'all are doing every day. I think that you guys might kick it. So what happens is he brings over this guy one day, and I have some dabs sitting on my synthesizer. And speaking of which, and he's like, dude, whose dabs are these? Whose synthesizer is this? And I was like, bro, this is mine, because this was an old classical style Athens home. So like all the rooms were connected by doors, whether it was living room, whatever. You basically picked what room you had to deal with, and if people walked through your shit, that's what happened. So he just walked through my room and saw that shit, and we were like, he was like, whose dabs are these? And I was like, those are mine. He was like, dude, these are mine. You want to hit some dabs? And we just started kicking it and clicked like that. And then he was like, yo, you gotta meet Apollo 1, which is the other rapper, main rapper, shall I say, because he raps too a little bit. And from then on, Isaac was actually Apollo 1. Apollo 1's actually from Detroit, and my whole family's from Detroit. And he moved here when he was 10, and my family moved here when I moved back down here when I was around 4. So like we had a bunch of just really ironic like similarities, and so we were just like, this is a brotherhood, like this is meant to be. And then they were like, yeah, we call ourselves a Lunar Gang, and I was like, Lunar Gang? Well, being as my mixtape that's dropping, 722, it's all about numerology because it's based upon my birthday being a Cancer Leo cusp, because I'm really into like horoscopes and astrology. So that being said, my ruling planet is the moon. So when I found Lunar Gang as a Cancer, I was like, this is it. This has to be it. This is. There's no coincidence here. There's no such thing as coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. So that being said, I was just like, let's do this. Let's rock and roll, guys. And ever since, the big wheels kept on turning.
That's dope how it all came together. I also have to point out, especially because you kept saying, well, you know, he raps little. You guys really remind me of Jay and Silent Bob right now. You definitely have that vibe going on in this camera.
I swear to God, we have gotten that like 3 or 4 times.
Really?
It's hilarious, yeah. Especially
That's
when I hadn't cut my hair on the sides. Because I had really long hair.
Non-talkative one. When I got him right here to say everything that I have.
Yeah, but
have
he
to
makes
think
the
of.
beats, you know. He's the really in-depth beat maker, you know. He speaks to his sound, you know. I'm just the voice of the group because I want to put myself out there. But
I totally get that. So let's talk a little bit about you as a producer. What is your inspiration with how you produce?
Honestly, it's I would say it's kind of the reason I started out was completely out of nowhere. My mom got a new car and it had a good sound system in it. So I honestly decided to go on GarageBand and make a beat. It had a lot of bass with it. And so I did. And from that day, like that made me really happy. And honestly, all of my beats come from
bass. I'll tell you that shit.
From
right
bass. For some reason, they I don't know. They come from like a dark place, but that can probably explain all the spacey. Like I put a lot of spacey and kind of like weird and wavy type sounds into it. But
Okay.
yeah.
And you produced his entire project that's coming out?
So, with that being said, the entire project was actually co-produced between, I think Apollo 1 did help on 2 or 3 of the tracks, maybe even just 2 or maybe 1 of our produced tracks, but he spits on 3 of them, he spits on 3 of them. And then me, I don't really produce much, but I co-produced alongside him and our main engineer from Decatur, Georgia. His name is Cloud9, that's his alias. And they both practically produced almost every main portion of this entire project. And it's really beautiful because I really wanted to give them that special branch of that to feel included, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be like, this is all mine, you know? And it was crazy because everything just kind of manifested itself. And I'd wake up one morning and Keon would be, well, Cloud9, he would be halfway through a beat and he would jump out and be like, yo, let me throw something on this. And then I'd be like, yo, dude, I already have something from the mixtape that I think would go good with this. And then by the end of the night, that shit would be recorded and we'd be like, dude, this shit sounds great. We were like, dude, we did not plan this today. Perfect. And that's honestly sometimes the best way it can work. Impulsive. And I've noticed that about him too. Like his music, it comes from nowhere. Like he really does just create it from nowhere. Like he doesn't have an idea, he just jumps in and just keeps on adding and figuring it out. It's more just like going with the flow. He's just somebody who goes with the flow with this production, which is really awesome because that's really how it should be in this culture, because it's a lot of people have forgot where the flow is, you know what I'm saying? It's you can be as lyrical as you want, but as long as if you don't have flow and you can't entertain as well, which is where you can mash mumble trap and what they're calling mumble rap with it, it's the entertainment as well. You got to have a mixture of both. That's what really makes it musical art, and that's what we're trying to do, is make a different type of wave, you know, between lyrical hip hop and mumble trap, spacey sound that everybody loves the beats. So it's like, you know, put it together, why not?
And what I was gonna say, when I first started producing, it was more like melody. Like I would actually take time and do stuff with it. I didn't know how to quantize anything for shit, so it was off. It was pretty bad.
Which, for those of you who don't know who quantizing is that are going to be watching this, that's basically making sure that shit is on time, on a met. Like, click, click, click.
But now I'm like, I really love trap beats. I honestly.
We
fucking
love
think
trap
they're
beats
fucking
too.
great.
We can't deny that. Like,
Fucking
it's like,
loud, hard hitting
bass beating, booming ass
some
shit.
spacey, trippy ass fucking vibe.
Like, and it's like,
It
okay,
works.
the old heads,
That's
yeah,
what
we
people
love the
want.
boom bap too. We love the boom bap. We love the old stuff, but you know, we gotta interpret some new genre. You know.
So let's definitely move on and talk about the specifics of your new release. And we'll just go over some of the facts. When is your project dropping and what's the name of it?
Okay, so the project is dropping on July 22nd, 7/22, and it's really easy because the project's name is 7/22 as well. It's 7/22 after the time 7/22. I mean, whatever time you want it to be, whether it's AM or PM, that's all up to you. But I always see that time, and it's my birthday, and so it's all, like I said, it's all based around numerology. So there's 13 songs on the track. There was originally going to be 14, but we cut a couple of them off because I wanted it to be a little bit more pinpointed towards my personal sound and message. Whereas we were branching off towards other stuff that we were having fun with, but it was like, you know, let's focus on 7/22, what 7/22 means to me, but also, you know, keep these guys happy and entertained and having fun too. So with that being said, I wrote 7/22 over the last 3 years when I first came to Athens, and I had 4 songs originally created for a demo that I was going to make, and eventually it turned into 13 songs that I just wrote personally over the times, working with the groups, doing our own stuff, own shows, and collected those and really just put them back in a special vault. And I was like, I love these. These are, I really like these. I really want to focus on these, and when I put these out, I really want to make them on point. And I didn't really have an idea for 7/22, but we moved into a new house this February, and right before that, we had created about 6 to 7 new beats, and I put a couple of these old songs to them, and I was like, you know what, I think I want to put something together, dude. And so from there, we just started making more stuff, and I put more songs that were old from the vault in it, and I was like, what am I going to call this? What am I going to call this? And I was like, I can drop this by my birthday. And so I was like, call it my fucking birthday. And then I started seeing, you know, because I always see the number 7/22 when I look at the time. I'm like, 7/22, that's my fucking birthday. That's my numbers. So I'm like, hell, you know, why not? Like, I'll wake up in the middle of the morning. 7/22, man, this shit. There's something up. And then I'll be like, okay, in the evening I'll be like, oh shit, the fucking stove says 7/22, and I'm like, man, this has gotta be. So fuck it, why not? And it's easy to remember. It dropped on my birthday. Also, I turned 22 this year because I was born in '96. It's ironic because the Cancer symbol is a 6/9, and I was born in '96. So the numerology, it's all there. The stars are aligned. Like, this is for the people. I'm not doing this for me. Like, I want to put this out there so people actually have something to turn on at the end of the day and be like, wow, this is booming, and I'm bobbing my head unintentionally, but then they pay attention for a second and they're like, wow, he just talk shit about Trump, like, that's my man, like, yeah. Fuck that shit. But yeah, it's all about numerology. So 7/22 on 7/22, it's that easy. It will be, we're going to be putting it on Spotify. Hopefully I'll be able to put it on Tidal as well, but it'll also be on iTunes and Apple Music, and then of course SoundCloud and YouTube. I think we're going to have a video in time. I'm not going to guarantee it, but I hope that we'll have a video in time for one of the songs. So, and that will actually have him rapping on it, Apollo 1 rapping on it, and he made that entire beat himself, and he's rapping on the hook too. So yeah, we gave him a chance to actually put his voice out there for once. So it's actually really good. So
pretty dope.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
The only other question I had that we didn't cover is this your first official solo project?
It actually is, and I really appreciate you actually asking that and grasping that, because I've been meaning to do this for a while. And a lot of my friends that I grew up with in high school, and even before then, they've always known that I've been working on a lot. And I even have a completely other album that I wrote even previous to this one that I'm still saving for maybe, hopefully, a debut cosign or, you know, something big. But that, they know And I know that that will be a specific timing, just like 722. And 722 is all about timing. So that being said, this is my time for what I feel, and I feel like this whole project will show people that you can work hard and it can pay off, because no matter what, you're not alone, and as long as you look and you find, as long as you look, you will find it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't just say, oh, I found this guy, smoked dabs with him one night, and fuck it. No, I was like, man, that's fucking dope, man. That dude was, let's fucking, like, I felt that. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So I really feel like this mixtape, it's the right timing. I really want to be very, very teamwork, like cooperative with Lunar Gang and the team. And Apollo 1's going to be working on his first solo project, actual album, because this is a mixtape. I want to drop it as a mixtape because, I mean, it's not as serious as I thought it was going to really be, but he's actually dropping an album. So when you put a title on it like that, it's a little bit more serious. So that being said, we are definitely going to be promoting that a lot as well and working just together. Like I said, I'm doing my solo stuff because I love my art, but I also love our team, and this is our collective, and that's how it is, you know, as ASAP Gang, I mean, Taylor Gang, like, yeah, there's tons of people in those groups, you know, and there's always, you know, the name, so it's, Lunar Gang is our brand, that's our name, but this is Nick Main's debut first solo mixtape, and I'm very happy for it, and I hope people really enjoy it. And if they don't, well, fuck you. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not trying to be cocky, but we're out here. If you don't like my music, I'm not forcing you to shove that shit down your ear. So please don't listen to it. If you want to criticize me, I would love to listen to criticism, and I love hip hop connoisseurs and rap connoisseurs. So please criticize me. I need that. But if you're hating just because you are sorry yourself internally and you wish worse on people because you have it worse, well, I'm sorry, because my music is probably about to help a lot more people than I even think. So that's what I got to say. So Nick Main, Lunar Gang, shouts to Volumes Hip Hop, shouts to Loud Logic, shouts to Trevor, UIV, YOD, shouts to all the boys who are constantly putting in effort right fucking now, back there working on a damn beat. Shouts to this guy, always waking up and putting in work and making a beat in one whole fucking day, like it's nothing, when in reality your mind's, that's a lot of work. Shouts to Apollo 1, his album will be dropping.
Looks like it's nothing.
Pretty sure his album, I'm not going to release the name of it, but it will be dropping soon. And other than that, keep an ear and an eye out. And thank you guys so much for this opportunity.